So I just want to configure the Bootstrap here. So simply what we can do, if you want to configure the Bootstrap, import, just say Bootstrap. Now you can configure it in app.js or index.js, anything will work. So I'm just configuring it in the apps.js, Bootstrap, dist, in that CSS, in that bootstrap.css. Now save it. Okay. Yesterday we have just tried to understand the use effect hook and use state hook. So let's try to do one example on that. So my example will be something like this. I want to create one card kind of format. Like this card kind of format. And I want to divide this card into two parts. So one is like this much, a 4-column space, and another is like 8-column space. Now here I want to display the image, and here I just want to display some stuff related to that person. Now this entire data will come from the API. Entire data will come from the API. So whenever my component loads, that time only I should be able to see this particular card. Okay. Now here I can have one button. If I click on that, then this data should get changed. If I click on this, then this data should get changed, something like that. If I click on this particular button, then this entire data should get changed. This entire data will come from API. Okay. So let's create first this kind of UI. So inside this component folders, I'm just creating something called profile folder. In that, one profile.js. Okay. Now I want to create the component using functional approach. So first import React. Then just create one normal function. Now you can create one arrow function also, no problem. It's not like you have to create only normal function. You can create one arrow function also. So here I'm just creating one arrow function called profile equals to one arrow function. Now here we have to write the UI, and whatever UI we will write, we have to return that. And finally export default your profile. Now here we have to just create the UI. I don't want to I want to create here one div, and this div should have one container. So for the grid system, I just want one container. Then one row. In this row, I want one column. In this column, I want one card. Now in this card, I need one card body. Now this card body, I want to divide into two parts. Means in card body, I will take one row. In that row, I will divide it into two columns. One column should take 4-column space. Another column should take 8-column space. 8-column space. Okay. Now here I just want to create one, to display one image src equals to, as of now I'm just giving empty string, and I want here width should be 100% and height should be 100%. Done. Here I want to display the image. In the same way, here I just want to display certain data. So for example, In H5, I want to display name. Then one more H5 I will take where I want to display city. One more H5 where I can display something like email. Here also first name, last name. This is the first name. Then I want to display one more like a last name. Now you can display whatever data you will get in that API. You can display that data, entire data. First name, last name, city, email, or something like phone number. And I'm just displaying one random paragraph. And one button. Guys, be on the mute. And one just button, something called update. Update. And let me use some bootstrap classes for this. Class name equals to btn, btn hyphen outline, something like danger. Save it. We have just created the UI, but here now we are not displaying any data. We want to display this entire data from the API. So what is that API? So we have something called random user.me. If you see this one, random user.me, now this is the data. To this API, if you send a request, you are going to get this data, and this data you have to display there. So I'm just copying this API and just come here. Now, if you want to send any request to a server, then you require Axios first of all. So first of all, import Axios from Axios. Done. We have done with the Axios. Now, second, when you want to send a request, I want to send a request whenever my component loads. Whenever my component loads inside the DOM, that time I need to send a request. Means without doing any actions on this particular component. So in that case, I have to take the help of lifecycle methods. So now here I required component did mount. So for that, I will just take the use effect hook. And once I get the data from server, that data I want to keep in my state. So for that, I require use state also. So I will take use state also. So use state is required whenever you will get the data from server. That data you will first keep in the state. From state you will display here. Use effect is required for your component did mount. So first let's create one state here. So I'm just creating const equals to use state. So initially I will just make it as a empty array. Initially it will be empty array, and here it's something like state comma set state. So initially our state is like a empty array. Now I need to use component did mount. So how to use component did mount? Using use and
Recording in progress.
That. Now let's see up to here whether we are getting the data or not. And let me print this one, console.log of response.data.results. Now let's save it. Now this component we have to keep in the app.js. So go and import here first. Import profile. Now here profile. Save it. npm start. Okay. Now right click, go to inspect, go to console. Now see here we are getting the data from server. But if you see how many requests is going on, still request is going on, still request is going on. The reason, whenever your component loaded, first time you send one request, that time this lifecycle method behaved like a component did update. Then your state got updated here. Your state got updated. Once your state got updated, this method again it was called. Again it was called because now this is like a component did update. Again this API got hit. Again this state got updated. Again this method is called because again it is acting like a component did update only. So each and every time you are sending a request, updating a state, again calling the same method. So it is going into the infinite loop. So we should not do like this. We should not send this many requests. So for that, what we can do, we can simply restrict this one. We can say that I want this one should behave like a component did mount only. It should not behave like a component did update. In that case, I will just pass here one empty array as a second argument. Now save it. Now request will go only for one time. So if I clear it and if I refresh it, now see request went only one time and we got the response one time. That's it. Now we are not sending any request. But if you remove this one, if you remove this second argument, now it will act like a component did mount plus component did update. Now if I save it, go here, and now see here how many requests are going on. Unnecessarily so many requests are going on. Because each and every time your state gets updated, again this method is called, because we know that once the state is updated, your components get updated. If component gets updated, then your lifecycle method component did update will be called, and from second time this use effects callback function will act like a component did update. So now we have to tell to the React that you should make this callback function act like a component did mount only. And once your state get updated, don't make this this callback function as a component did update. So how to tell? Just give pass a empty array. Now save it. Now if you come here, now it will not do. So if I clear this one and if I refresh, only one time the request will go. So first time went the request and we got the data. Now if you see here, we just got the some data. Here we got cell, date of birth, email, gender. Now once we got the data, we can just display that data inside our UI. Now simply here I will say, yeah, this is the array, right? Results, we got one array. Now let's come here. Now this is the image, right? So first here I will write one condition. First I will say state. State is nothing but your length, right? If state dot length is greater than 0, means if your state is not empty, then pick the image. How to pick the image? State in that first object. In that I want pictures dot large, because the data structure is something like this, that image will come in this particular fashion. If you see the response, in this response you got one object, and this object is present at the 0th index, so that's why we have accessed it like a state of 0. We got this object, in that we want picture, so that picture is present in this picture property. Again, internally this picture property is one more object. So if I expand, this has 3 images. So that's why we have to say state of 0 dot picture dot large. Then we got this image link. In the same way, I want first name. So how to say state of 0 dot name dot first. Then you will get first name. State of 0 dot name dot last. Then you will get the last name. But before that, we are checking the condition, whether state is empty or state has some data. We are telling if state has some data, then only take the picture. If state is empty, then just make it as a empty string. That's it. Empty string. And the same goes with this one also. Here also the same thing. First, we will check the condition, whether my state dot length is greater than 0 or not. If it is greater than 0, then pick the name. State of 0 dot name dot first. If it is not empty, then just give a empty string. Empty string. That's it. Now, same this condition we have to apply for everyone. Now I'm just copying this condition and pasting here also. Now here, instead of first, we will just say last. Done. Now when it comes to CT is present inside, we have to see. CT is present inside location. So we have a location property. Inside location, we have a CT. So here we have to say state of 0 dot location dot CT. Location dot CT. And same goes here as well. Here we want email. Email is directly present in that object. So directly write email. And when it comes to phone, I think phone is also directly present. So let me see. So here we have phone. Yeah, phone is directly present. So simply we have to say here phone. Now just save it. Now come here. I'm just commenting this effect. Now go here, profile, and something like here MT5. Here also MT5. Save it. We got this kind of image, but it should not come like this. It should come something like this. Now again, everything is coming in the center. The reason this app.cs. So let me remove all this, save it. Now it will not come in the center. Now see, if I refresh it, I will get different image. Now if you want, you can give just different styles for this. So instead of making this like everything like a black, now you can give some different styles. So what we can do, simply this we can keep in the label tag. Just now here you can give some styles. So I'm just giving some class name equals to text primary. Now just save it. Now you got, this is the first name, like this. Now like this, you can just give different styles for each and every one. So for this also label. So I'm just copying this label. Now here, instead of first, last name. Here it should be CT. And you got CT. In the same way, you can just make this also email. Here we can simply say email. Now you can create any UI, whatever UI you want, you can create. The thing is, you should know how to fetch the data from API and how to display in your UI. So that is the only work of front-end developer. Front-end developer will never do any business logic. He will always get the ready-made data. He just need to create the UI and he need to keep that UI inside. I mean, he need to append the data inside that UI. Now we got this home. Now what I want, if I click on this update, I just want to update this. I just want to update the data. So can you tell me, if I click on this, how can I update the data? What I have to do if I want to update this data?
You need to create one function on click.
Yeah, on click I need to create. So basically what I have to do, I have to send request to API, right? On clicking on this button. That's the only thing I have to do. If I send API, again the data will change because this is a random user API. Each and every time you send a request, new data will come. So if I refresh here, new data will come. Same data is not coming. So that is like that API behavior it is. So that API will give always a new data whenever you send a new request. So that's why they have called it as a random user. Okay. So simply what you have to do, you have to call the same logic what you called in the use effect. This same logic you have to call. So now this same logic you have to call multiple times, right? So for that purpose, I'm just not writing this code, entire code. I mean, I'm not hard coding this code inside this one. So for that, I will just make one function here. On something like server call. And this logic I will write in the server call and I will call this server call here. Now I have just separated that logic here. Now still I get the data, right? Now if I click on this button, I just need to call the server call. That's it. So whenever I go to that particular button and here on click, one function should be called and just call the server call. That's it. I'll just save it. Now if you come here, now if I click on this, I'm just getting different data. If I click on this, I'm getting different data.
What is that server called, server?
This is just a custom name I have given. Just whatever logic we written in the use effect, right? That I have pasted here.
Okay, that is to call for the update.
Because I want on the button click also, I want to call the same logic, right? Now I cannot call that lifecycle method. That's why I wrote in separate method, and that method I'm calling here plus on button click also. So it's just a custom name. It's not any, you can give any name, whatever name you want to give. I'm just given server call. Or you can just write something like get data from server, whatever name suits.
Okay, got it. The first time that that use effect calls this as a component did mount, and if for any update like component did update, we are only calling this method. Yeah, we are not calling use effect.
We are not calling use effect because use effect is lifecycle method. It is called by React.
Okay.
We don't have any control to call them. This is the server call. So here now we are maintaining the state also, because whatever data we got, first we are keeping that date in the state. Then from state only, we are displaying the data in the UI. So if our state gets updated, our UI will also get updated. Now if you just say here something, so each and every time you are sending new request, and you are getting the new data. Now you can create a proper UI the way you want, and you can just display it. Okay. You can just go to any website, just see their profile UI, how the profile UI will be, and just try to create that kind of profile UI. So you go to your Facebook, you go your Gmail or any website, and just see how their profile tab will be, how they have created UI. Try to create that UI, take this random user API, because here you will get the details, and try to keep that data inside that UI. So this is how you can practice the things. Okay, and remember, always front end people will get ready-made data. They will never do any calculations. They will get the data like this. If you are asking one user, server will give one user data. If you tell I want three user data, they will give you three user data. So for everything you will have the API from server side. So you will never do any business calculations at the front end. You will never change this object. You cannot insert new property, you cannot delete property, you cannot update property. Everything will be done by server side people. If you want to do any updation, then you have to create a form in your front end. You have to just send updated data to them. They will receive the update data, they will do the changes, and they will give you the response. So front end work is to create UI and append the data in that UI. Front end developer work is just to focus on the UI. Only we have to focus on UI, how to create a proper UI. Okay, so all these data calculations, everything will be coming from the server. So this is the main thing. Okay, if you go for any interviews, they are going to give like this APIs for you. Any random API they will give, and they will tell fetch the data from this API, first task, and show me in the console. So once you have shown him the in console this data, then they will tell you, okay, create this kind of UI and just show me this data inside this UI. Then you have to create that UI and you have to show it. And once you did, then they will start asking you the question like what you did. So why did you use Axios? Why did you use lifecycle method? So without lifecycle method, is it possible to do? So like this cross questions they will ask sometimes. So I think now for freshers, interview pattern also change. Now few company, what they will do, they will give you a task. One task they will give you. For example, they will give you one API and they will give you one task, and they will give you some 3 days time. So they will say you like, if you submit this task, then we will take your interview. So you have to submit that task. If you won't submit their task, they won't take interview only. But once you submit that task, then they will schedule your interview. First they will check what you did. First they will go through your code. They will do some cross questions. They will just check whether you have done or someone else has done. So they will just try to cross question you on that particular thing. They will just say, okay, if I do something like this, what will happen? If I do something like this, what will happen? Like this cross questions they will ask. If you are able to answer that questions, then they will take some technical questions. They will ask some questions related to JavaScript, related to React. The process is done. So now that aptitude, all that, I mean, in very rare companies that aptitude will be done. So the people are following this approach nowadays. So if you apply any jobs from LinkedIn, so directly they will give you the task. Please complete this task and submit it. Okay. So this is how we can just create this profile. I mean, use effect and use state. So next hook is for us, that is use ref. Use ref is very easy, just to create a reference for our elements. How we created the references using create ref, the same thing, create ref functionality will be with the use ref hook. Use ref. That's it. Just creating the references. Apart from that, nothing. So here I'm just creating something called use ref. Created a folder use ref. In that I'm just creating on something called form.js. Okay. So shortcut, if you want to create shortcut, just say RFCE and click on tab. Now you got this one shortcut. Now here I can just take one container and one row, and here just one call. Done. Now here I just want to take one card. Can I make it as a call SM-4 in this one card header and one card body. Now I can take one form tag and inside one div, and here one input type equals to something like text. Okay, so if I want to give some classes of Bootstrap, so just I can give class name equals to form control, and for this div I can make class name equals to form group. Just I have created one input box, and here we can, if you want, you can write label or some placeholder, something like enter text. Just created one input group. Now you got export default. Go to your app.js and import it. Import form. So first let me change the name here. Let me make it as a capital F. Form. Let me go here and let me make changes here as well. Save it. Save it. Now I'm just commenting this profile and keeping here form. Now save it. Now we got some form here. empty-5 here also. Something empty-5. And here you can simply say something like login form. And we can take this one inside something like H3. Login form. Just we got one login form. If you want to give some background color, all that, then we can just, we can give that. So here I can just give BG dark, text white. We got one login, one button. In the same way, I just want one more for password. Enter password. Just we got password. Now here we can give something like empty-3. Now this one, and one button finally. Here something called login. Class name equals to ptn-outline -primary. This one. Now here we can just give something like px-3 empty-2 3. Now we got one login button. Okay. So I'm not using form because I just don't want to submit any form to the server as of now. So I'm just removing this form tag from here. So simple login form. Now, if you want this in the center, can anyone tell me how to bring this login form in the center? Exactly. This is on the left side, right? I want in the center.
Align center.
Where I have to align center.
You, yeah, like, yeah, in the div.
So what we can do means here we told column SM-4, right? In the row here, I have to say align center. Okay, so let me try align center. Now I got center, but I want this entire card in the center.
Empty 5, empty.
You have to add one more column, sir.
I have to create one more column. See here we told column SM-4. So when we said column SM-4, this card took the space of first 4 column space. But I don't want this to take first column 4 space. It should take from 4 to 8 so that it will come in the middle. Because we know that one row is divided into 12 parts. So if it is taking 1 to 4 in the left side, then obviously 4 to 8 will be in the center and 8 to 12 will be on the right side. So what can I do? Before this one, I can just create one more column SM-4 and tab here and save it. Now see, I got this in the center. Okay, so this is how we can use the bootstrap and bring the styles. Now if I come here near the button, if I say here 5, this is a login button. Okay, this is the button. Now we just created the button. Now my requirement is whenever user will type here, he will type here and he will click on this button. I need to get the values of this text box. I need to get the values of this text box. So there are 2 ways. One is using on change event you can do. Using on change event you can do, or else you can create the references using the use ref hook. How to create the references means first import use ref. You imported the use ref. Now create 2 references. Now use ref is a function. So just call use ref. It will create one random reference and it will return you that reference. It will return you that reference. If it is returning some reference, we have to catch in some variable. So I am saying here something like a text reference like this. Now I got here text reference. In the same way, I want to create one more reference. Again, call use ref. Just call use ref. Again, it will create one random reference and it will throw you. So just catch it in some variable, something like password ref. Now you just created 2 references. One is text ref, one is password ref. You can give any name. It's just a variable name. That reference are stored in these variables. Now attach these references to your input elements. So for here, how to attach? Just write ref keyword and there you say text ref. And same goes with here also. Here also just write ref. And here you have to just write password ref. That's it. Now we have attached some references to our elements. Now using these references, you can do whatever operations you want to do on this element. So now what I want to do, I just want to collect the data whenever I click on this button. So I will just write on click and I will call like get data. Fine. I will just call function get data. So now I have to define that function here. So const get data equals to here this one. Now how to get data? Just write here console.log of. I just want the data, right? So how to get that data? Using this one text ref dot current. Just you have to say dot current dot value. You will get the data. In the same way here also console.log. Just simply you have to say password ref dot current dot value. You will get the values of the text box. Now if you come here, right click, go to inspect and go to here console, clear all this. Here type something. Here I'm typing something. Here also I'm typing something and clicking on this login. Now see, you got the data. Now once you get the data, send this data to the server in some API. That's it. So that example we will see once we start that end to end. While means we will create our own server side Express.js application and MongoDB. And from here, we will send the data so that that data should go and store in our MongoDB. So that entire flow we will create. So that time here, up to here, we just learned how to take the data from the this text boxes. And once you take the data, create here one object. So simply here you can say var form data equals to create one object. Now, while creating the object, you require key and value. Value is nothing but this one, this data, which is coming from the text box. Keys will be given by server side people because this object we have to send to the server. Then server will receive this object and they will extract the data. So whenever they are extracting the data, our keys and their keys should be same. So that's why always keys will be given by server side people only. So they will say for name, you use the key name. So we have to use name only. And value is nothing but this one. Textref dot current dot value. Now comma, they will tell for password you use PWD. Whatever they told, we have to use that. Now password ref dot current dot value. Now we created the object. Now once we created the object, now here we will just write axios.post. Axios.post, here we will write the API, comma, and we will pass this form data like this. That's it. Here API will be, here we will give the API. Okay. Now the request will go to the server. With that request, we are sending some data to the server. Now they will receive it, they will store, and they will send one confirmation message to us. Yes, data is successfully stored. Then we will handle here promise. If we get a confirmation message, then we will show to the user you have logged in properly, and we will navigate to some other page, home page or something like that. So this is how the work. This is how the login will work. So we will do this once we develop that server side kind of thing. So here we have just learned how to take the data from the input elements and how to create the object. So if you don't want to use ref, then you can go with on change event. So you can create two states here. You can just create two states and you can just configure on change event here. On change event here. So whenever there is some change, you have to update the state. These are the two approaches we can follow. That on change approach is like JavaScript approach. Use ref approach is like React approach. React is given this concept. Understood? This use ref. How many references you can create like this means any number of references you can create. You can create 100 reference, 200 reference, 50 reference. How much you want, that many references you have to create. Now, if you see there is no change here, just call use ref, just call use ref. Randomly, it will create two different references. Like this, you call use ref 10 times, it will create 10 different references. And just attach that references with your input elements. You can attach to anyone. You can attach to radio button, checkbox, a password, text, to anything you can attach. To button also you can attach. Just using a ref keyword. Just you have to remember, you have to use a ref keyword. Got it? Any doubts in this? So this is a very simple concept, use ref. Next is like use context. So can you guys tell me what is the purpose of context concept? Why do we go for context?
Send the data from one to another component.
Exactly. Sending the data from parent to child. without following that nested approach, right? So which problem it is solving? Anyone remember that word?
Props drilling.
Exactly. So it is solving the props drilling problem. Okay. So this is one of the interview question. They will ask you which kind of, problem this context API will solve. It's a props drilling. Props drilling means passing the data from parent to child, from then this child to his child, from his child to his child, this nested way, passing the data in nested way. This particular problem is called your props drilling. This is called props drilling. So to solve this problem, context API came into picture. So context API is simple. Just create one context object. This parent has the data, right? So store that data inside this context object. Now make this context object available for everyone. It is available for everyone. Who wants the data? He wants the data, take from here. This wants the data, take from here. Whoever wants the data, take from here. But the drawback is you can pass the data from parent to child only. If you want to pass the data from child to parent, it's not possible. So you can go with the callback approach again, which is very, very complicated. So if you any time wherever you want to pass the data from child to parent, people will go with the Redux. So Redux doesn't have any restriction. Redux tells whoever wants to store the data, store. Whoever wants to take the data, take. I don't have any restrictions. But context API have the restrictions that data can be passed from parent to child only. Parent to child only. So passing the data and making this available is same as we did in the class component. Only taking the data from this context object is changed. So we are going to take the data from this context object using use context to hook. Use context to hook. So in class approach, it was very difficult, right? We have to create one callback function. Then we have to use consumer dot context dot consumer component to take the data. So it was a little bit complicated process to take the data from context object. But they have made it very, very, very simple in the functional component. They simply given you the use context. Using this, we can take the data from context object. So we will see this tomorrow, how to take the data from context object. Okay. Because again, if I start this one, it will take half an hour, more than half an hour it will take. So once we're done with this, then we have use reducer. Now this use reducer is little bit pattern of our Redux pattern. So in Redux, how we had reducer, dispatch. So same pattern, same terms will come here also in this also. Okay. So I hope you guys are practicing, right? So in case if you're getting any doubts, try to ask that doubts. Okay. So React has very, very good demand in the market as of now. So just utilize that. And I'm like as a fresher, you can simply ask for 5 LPA. If you are in a Bangalore, you can blindly ask. If you are in Delhi, you can ask. In Hyderabad, I don't think they will give this much, because for freshers, they won't give. But if you select any very good companies, then they will try to give. Okay. But you should demand, you should have that guts to ask. And asking is not enough. You should have that kind of knowledge, that kind of stuff. And whatever we have covered, that's more than enough to get this 5 LPA job as a fresher. There are so many people I have seen, they are getting 7 LPA, 8 LPA as a freshers on React. Okay, especially the people who are from north side, near Delhi or Gurgaon. I don't know, but here in Delhi, Gurgaon, the packages will be good. Work culture is not that great, but they will give up best packages. In Hyderabad only, I find little bit less salary for the freshers only. But if you're experienced, like at least 3-5 years, then Hyderabad is the place where you will get highest package. Like for 3 years, 5 years, like 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs packages. But for freshers only, I don't know why Hyderabad gives that. Very less package, very less. like 12,000, 15,000 per month for freshers. I think Bangalore has a good opportunity. Bangalore gives a good package for freshers, and anyways, that city is little bit. Uh, Kerala, I don't know. You will get so many. If you go to the YouTube, you will get so many options. So there are so many people who build portfolios. Portfolio is nothing but just creating a project and explaining what you know. Or you can create one project, and in that you can create small multiple projects. So that became your portfolio. Okay, that's it. Let's see the next set of things tomorrow. Actually, yesterday I forgot to tell them that at 8 a.m. So today I will explain them. Just whenever you will get that link, just see the timing on that link. If it is 8:15, join 8:15. If it is 8 a.m., join 8 a.m. So I will just make sure that it should be 8 a.m. only, so that we can wrap up around 9 a.m., 9:15. Okay. Okay. You're welcome, guys.